What's up? What's happening? How you feeling? I just saw what I do believe might, be up for picture of the year. I know it's early, but it is April and some good movies come out of April. Yeah, spoiler alert, I'm about to talk about it, so come back to this after you've seen it. Off the bat, I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10. Saw that look, credible theater setting. Good crowd movie, because there's moments within the film that cause for one to be engaged with one another. You could tell it was a very intentional film, the way it was shot. That ear shot that opened up the film that kind of breaks it down that she's deaf in one ear. You never find yourself in a relationship asking certain questions that maybe you should be asking, especially when you talk about spending the rest of your life with somebody. Like, I've known you for 2 years and I don't know how you're deaf. I'm assuming that he assumed, and it's interesting that he's from across the pond because how they don't have guns and their gun laws and all that whatnot. So this is a movie about a few different things. Number one thing is infatuation. You get so caught up in somebody's sex appeal, the chemistry that y'all have, it could be lacking fundamental things like, yeah, bro, well, again, why didn't you know about her past? These are things that you should know. And then on top of that, it get into I hate to bring race into the situation, but it's a relevant conversation. It's a relevant point to make because the gentleman who was the friend of Rachel, by the way, fuck Rachel. Front to back. Just, all right, boom. So the premise of the movie is you got Zendaya and my boy Cedric Diggory are in a relationship together. He lied. It was an innocent white lie, but it was indeed a lie to get her attention in the very beginning of the movie. Well, one of the very first things that she ever says to him, and I'm just noticing this in real time too. Again, forgive me, I'm processing not. We just saw this movie. One of the very first things she said to him was, do you want to start over? You want to try it again? And that's how the movie ends as well. So she's really big on second chances because, nigga, everybody deserves a second chance, bro. Like, I'm not who I was when I was 15, twin, even if I had an idea about something. So boom. So they go to dinner. They're doing like the planning of the wedding dinner with two of Cedric's friends, a black guy and a white woman. That's their dynamic. Race does play a big part in this film. It's not like a negative factor, but it is a factor. At this dinner, they're doing what you should never do with anybody is play a drinking game. It's like on the level of never have I ever, but it's like, no, tell me the dirtiest or the craziest thing you've ever done. Why are we playing this game? We should not play this game. This is not going to end well at all. Black dude goes and his story is like, yeah, my girlfriend was getting bit by a dog in Mexico and I used her as like a human shield so I wouldn't get bit. All right, that shows who he is. Now we know your character. And then it goes to the white girl whose name is Rachel. Man, again, she locked a kid in a closet and left him there. She locked the kid in a closet and left him there. She too was a child at the time and left him there to a point where like the whole search party had to come out and go find the kid. Like, she locked a child in, and apparently he may have been special needs. Locked him in a closet and left him there. Then Cedric goes and he says that he cyberbullied somebody to the point of them moving to the point where they had to relocate. So then Zendaya goes and she simply says, I almost shot up a school. Now, hearing it right then does sound crazy. Context is necessary, which we get from the film. And basically what it is I had a moment in my childhood when I felt very much alone and I was influenced by other school shooters and other things that were happening. I decided to go and do this thing. And she was about to do it. Two things happened. We find out this is how she's actually deaf because she was practicing with the rifle and it blew her eardrum out. And also, I guess a few days prior to her deciding to do it, there was a shooting in the area. One of her classmates was in that shooting and she saw how it affected everything. So she kind of got a glimpse of, okay, if you choose to go do this, this is what this will look like. She ended up becoming a gun control activist from her niche of friends that she met through this incident that took place around a corner from her school. She found a new family. She found a friend group because she's a military brat. So she didn't have a lot of friends and she was getting bullied at school. So she finds her tribe and now her entire life trajectory turns around. She is shown things that more than likely gave her that phrase that she has, which is, hey, do you want to start this again so many years down the line? She got this from this one idea. Ideas are not wrong. You are allowed to think whatever you want to think because a lot of your thoughts, they're not from self. They're giving to you. You receive thoughts. Your part that you play in it is if you act on it. And yes, she was attempting to record a manifesto video and everything, but shit kept stopping her, right? Back to present day, and she's telling this story, and I mean, the room freaks out. Mainly Rachel. Again, she is the worst example of somebody who literally did something cruel to a human being and immediately decides to take this stance against Zendaya. Now, this is another reason why I say race isn't like a factor in this movie, but it's a factor in this movie because Zendaya happens to be African American. In the film, she's African American. She's the younger version of herself is very much African American. School shooters historically are not black. So that was one thing that kind of caused a bit of a disconnect, but I guess it also allowed you as the viewer, as the audience, to look at this as an extreme hypothetical, which could double down on the fact that she hypothetically was about to shoot up a school. But the issue with Rachel's character was that her cousin was placed in a wheelchair because she had, in fact, been shot during a school shooting. So it was an emotional response, but she wasn't able to say, oh, well, you didn't do it. But the fact that you thought about it is extremely fucked up. That's why I disagree. Again, you are allowed to think whatever you think. If you carry it out, that's when you become or don't become a fucked up person. And everything has context to it. You know, quit fucking with people. I'm not saying that the school shooters are right. School shooters are trash. There's terrible situations that have happened. So coming back to this story happens to be told literally a week before they're supposed to be married. So many things. Robert Pattinson's character, shout out my boy Cedric Diggory, he takes this to heart, bro. And what he could have did, which what we find out that no one had done for Zendaya to that point, is stand up for her, have her back. Like, all right, bro, how old are you now? You was 15, man, come on, bro. We all think about some wild shit, dog. And did you do it? Nah, let's move on from it. But no, he let this shit eat at his soul, bro. And he goes on a week-long binger of bitching, bro. To the point where he almost, that was hilarious. Shout out to my boy. What's her boyfriend name? Ben? Pat? Her boyfriend's name is Blake. Blake's a nice guy. Shout out to Blake, bro. Blake had to keep my wife's body out your body. So I think that ultimately it's saying relax, give everyone that grace to, you know, I got your back and have their back. When someone is vulnerable with you, and Zendaya has to be extremely vulnerable in this movie, she's showing her inner child to this man, bro, just for him to embarrass her at their wedding. The film is incredible through and through. Story-wise, the acting is phenomenal. Shot selection from a technical standpoint, the editing, the pacing, the music, everything was incredible. The ending is a little bit like, again, they gonna say this, bro. In this film, a black woman had to be like, all right, bro, it's cool. Even though technically Rob, I can't say he didn't do anything because he was about to, but he did stop himself. But he was about to because of all this shit in his mind he making up, bro. But she was like, you know what? Hey, basically, you want to start over? She picked out a song that they play when he's upset to calm him down, to make him laugh again. You know what I'm saying? She has these systems in place of, hey, we're going to get through this. Hey, let's start over. Hey, it's going to be okay. All from her. Now, we don't really learn about nobody else's childhood, but we learn about her childhood and how, like, she went through what she went through, and she was really just doing the best that she could with what she had. So I do believe that this is how a relationship should go. You should be allowed to have a conversation with your person about the most fucked up shit that's in your brain, and they don't judge you or they don't turn their back on you. Like, that's all she was saying, bro. Like, have me, bro. Like, hold me down. Like, I got you, gang. Like, come on, what's up? And then maybe too, she felt like, well, shit, he got his ass whooped for it, so let's move on. You know what I'm saying? The drama. The drama's out now. I would highly recommend going to peep it, preferably in a theater. It's a good crowd theater experience film. You're going to laugh. You're going to be a little shocked. Shout out to the drama, man. 9 out of 10 on my scale. Tell me what you thought about it. If you care to have that conversation, we can have that conversation. I think I'm going to start doing movie reviews because I be watching some films. All right.